What's up, everybody? It's Wes, Hank, and Andy. Welcome back to Fandom Power here on Sunday night. It is our Back in Black series review series where we are taking a look back at the Hasbro Star Wars The Black Series 6-inch line of action figures, one wave at a time. So, well, sometimes two. I can't really
They're
say
small ass waves, man.
These early ones are. They seem like some of them have been like 3-4 figures,
especially with all the shifting, right? Like, oh, this one was supposed to be in 1, now it's shifted off to 3, and
yeah. I'd lined up a guest for us tonight. Unfortunately, life has happened. So, fingers crossed that our guest will clear whatever it is they have going on, and they will drop in and see us later. If not, that's okay. We'll get them on another one. That being said, when we launched this series, we did say that this was a lead up to Skeleton Crew. Have you been paying attention to the media?
Yes,
I have not. I've been trying to be that other guy because of how wrapped up in the
okay
stuff I get.
That is fair. Okay, well, no, I appreciate that.
I'm not, to speak freely, honestly. Like, don't worry about what I made.
I didn't want to talk sort of consumption, so. For sure. I was more just talking about how we've had, I think 2 scheduling changes
at least.
It seemed like it went from like the 4th to the 3rd and now the 2nd,
which I pointed out is tomorrow.
That's tomorrow.
And so do we know, is it 3 a.m. local time? Like is it like released on the West Coast,
or are they pulling the same?
Or is it 9 p.m.? Like,
please don't do that.
9 p.m.
I
local
could see
time,
them doing
like it's been.
Oh well, because of the day early.
Yeah,
I'm just curious.
I feel like that's a step backwards after we just had that. Okay, everything will drop at 9 p.m. in your time zone. I
wonder what else
I'm a big
dropped.
fan of that.
Mm.
I don't know if anybody tuned into the Tyson thing, but the Cerbers were brutal.
We did. Yes, we did. Andy and I watched it together here, and we
around 2 hours in decided to go for a crap.
It was frustrating because it's like the first thing you do is you're like, I'm gonna ride this out because we've watched the undercard, and we've watched a bunch of the second undercard, and then it's like it's gonna clear itself up, but then it didn't, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I'm like, what would I do back in the day of when I had the old like 486 computer?
Did you unplug it and restart it?
I did not. Beard Club.
Nice.
Yes.
First rule of Beard Club: we don't speak of Beard Club.
We don't talk about Beard Club. We ended up going back and restarting the broadcast and then fast forwarding it back to where we were when it started to go wonky, and that seemed to work. I think we watched about 10 minutes, 10 minutes behind.
It crashed my PS5, and Netflix has never done that to me ever.
No,
it was hinky, man.
This bodes. I know we're not talking about sports and stuff, but like,
this was their guinea pig test run, right? For all their
Right.
live stuff. They're
You
planning.
imagine the NFL if it takes off, how big
Oh.
that will be.
Well, WWE is coming to Netflix in January.
Possibly even bigger, right?
So, I mean, are we going to get some of the stuff that would normally be like WWE Network or pay-per-view
I
on
think it's going to be
Netflix?
Raw. I think what's
Just
happening is
Raw?
Raw has moved there, but you might get the bigger events,
Was what I mean.
like the
and,
annual events.
I believe they
WrestleMania,
are
whatever.
planning on moving the back catalog over as well.
some of
Oh,
it anyway. Yeah.
crazy! That would be
That'll
crazy.
be fun. That'll be fun because I like watching some of the legacy matches like from when we were kids, right? Will Skeleton Crew crash the Disney servers?
I
I highly doubt it.
I highly doubt it.
You know, I've stayed away, you know, the usual round of YouTubers that we all tend to follow and watch and listen to when it comes to Star Wars news. You know, I mean, theories out there, megas out there. And where Skeleton Crew is concerned, I'm sanitized. I haven't heard anything from any other YouTuber or podcaster about this show.
No.
And I think I prefer it that way.
I absolutely do.
All I've consumed is the trailers from Disney themselves.
Sure. And I've watched those, and I've watched the couple of clips that we had. There's an interesting one that just came out the other day with the kids, not just the kids from the show, but a larger group of students. It looks like they're taking a test. You know how we used to do our exams in the gym?
Yeah.
It looked like that. It was a huge, huge auditorium, and the test was being administered by a droid. And as the camera panned around, there was like a bunch of like other like alien kids, and I thought, well, that's cool. Like,
well, if they are living in a suburb, right, there will be a school.
I like it. And then we got a better sort of idea. You know, I think you guys have probably seen, or correct me if I'm wrong. Have you seen the memes that are poking fun at the speeder bicycles? Like the split.
No,
I have
So
not.
I've seen a couple. I've seen a good split screen where they took the scooter gang from the Book of Boba Fett and then like split screen that with this new bicycle. But that's what it is. It is meant to be a bicycle to the tune that when the one kid literally misses the bus on his way to school, he grabs the bicycle, which is a speeder, but a very low powered one.
Sure.
Grabs it from the garage, rides like a madman through the forest or to the end of the road, and there's like the metal barrier, and he literally picks it up and throws it over like you would a bicycle when you were a kid, and it makes a bicycle sound when it clunks down. So
nice.
This whole Goonies in space vibe, it certainly is doing that for me, and I don't want to say cautiously optimistic, although that is true. I am a little bit excited for this. I think because, you know, my memory of those movies from the 80s, Goonies, Adventures in Babysitting, those kinds of movies. I remember feeling good about those when I watched them, and I still feel good about them when I watch them today. So I'm hoping to, I don't want to say recapture some of that, but I would like it if we could get that feeling with a Star Wars flavor.
Well, here's what I want. You know, I couldn't make Tuesday, but I know you guys covered the Star Trek short.
We did,
and I just want to put my 2 cents in, because what you realize after, you know, I mean, so the CG, like the mocap, the CG, on that was beautiful. It was like scary good, right? Scary good.
Yeah,
you can still tell, but scary good compared to what we've seen in a lot of things.
Yeah,
on par with the best at any rate. But the thing is, there's no starships, no phaser battles.
No, there was none of that.
Time travel, intricate plots, no confusing time skips, no. And the thing that it's so grounded in character, in storytelling.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the heart of, that's why we love that franchise. That's why we love the other franchise. And that's what's missing, is the heart lately.
Yeah.
And so if this has half the heart that something like Goonies has, we're going to be fine. Like, those movies were all about heart and character and a good moral message at the end, you know, like.
Yeah.
So that's the part of Goonies I hope we get to.
That, yeah, and I'm right there with you. I want to see these kids go on an adventure that makes me feel good. You know, and because that's what Star Wars did for me when I was at that age. It made me feel
Exactly.
good. It made me feel like I was, you know, like I wanted to be Luke Skywalker, you know, or I wanted to be Han Solo.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Sometimes that feeling lasts 47 years or whatever.
that's right. That's right. Speaking of Star Trek, on the short film on, oh dear, it's got a big number at the front of it. I can't remember the number.
Oh,
Starts
unification.
with a 5,
We'll
6, I
we'll
believe.
just for
Yeah.
for the sake of arguments, unification. Boy, did we ever get a surprise.
Yes, we did.
Oh,
In the funny thing, we're talking about unification, and Andy had a slide prep for it. We had it on screen, and as we were talking about it, we got comments from a Carlos Baena, and it's like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Because that is the same name as the director.
Mm-hmm.
And after everything had wrapped up, after the show, Andy and I did some diving and digging and found like the social media accounts and the avatars all lined up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, did we just get like commented on by the actual director? Anyway, it was very
How
cool.
does that hit their radar in real time? Like, I
This
think
is
you asked
this
that
is some
in the chat,
internet
right?
wizardry. I don't know what kind of.
The only conclusion I can come to is because we put the link in the show notes, and the show notes released before the show.
That's true, and that
That's-
would be an easy thing to
easy to
search.
search, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But so then, did he watch the entire show?
I don't believe that he did.
Right.
It's
You'd
just-
have to be on point to be like, okay, now my part.
now, very rarely do I go back and look at I shouldn't say that. I do look at our social media, but I like for example, our Facebook page. I don't go to the Facebook page, click on the followers and and run through them to see.
Sure. No, I get it.
Well, after that I did. Just to make sure, like, because my wife had said, well, what about the chance that he actually watched your show? And I'm like, I can't rule that out. Anyway, he does not follow the page. So I'm more inclined to believe that it was because we were talking about it. But what a cool thing to happen, and just makes you feel that much more connected with these people, because I've said it before, we are at the age now where the people who are making this stuff are our age, right? Like they grew up with it the same way that we do. So
Yeah.
now, so this is going to be our last chat about Black Series action figures.
It's a mid-season break.
We can call it that. The funny thing is, we've done a couple of these now. So with season 1 of Ewoks, it's like, okay, we'll do Ewoks, but we can't do the whole series because other things are coming. And then it's like, okay, well, Ewoks didn't take us far enough to get to Skeleton Crew. What can we do to fill that time? Toys. Yeah, we can do toys.
Yep.
Well, it just works out that this episode, being our last one for now, will be the end of the blue boxes, or phase 2, as we'll call it, before we get that next package refresh, as you said, Hank, to the red and black box, of which we probably have hundreds.
Between us, all of it.
All of it. Yeah.
Between us, all of it. My wager.
That's not true. I got rid of all my sequel figures.
I got you there. I got you
did.
still. I got your back.
I got rid of all of them a while ago. Not because I didn't like them, but because it just didn't land with me the same way. And I'm okay with that. Maybe these Rey movies or whatever it's coming, or the thing from this trilogy that they're talking about will reinvigorate that, and I'll want to go get some of them again. I don't know. We'll see. Now, that being said, everything we're going to talk about tonight, I think with the exception of one, which I probably should have put on the last episode, comes from 2014. Still all the way back. We're still 10 years in the past. That being said, shall we get to the first one of the evening?
Let's.
Our first figure this evening comes to us from A New Hope, and it is the Phase 2, Wave 6, number 5, the TIE Fighter pilot. I've always liked the TIE Fighter pilot per se, not just the action figure, but the costume,
the helmet, and
well,
the
like
pressurized breathing apparatus.
It's essentially, you know what it is.
It's a pilot helmet.
Yeah, it's a Rebel pilot helmet with a
stormtrooper mask shoved under it, which is amazing.
It's amazing.
It's essentially the Rebel pilot suit, all black, with that harness thing removed and a new chest box.
The thing for me, I went ape as a kid when you saw the AT-AT driver, which was the lightly colored version of this. So you could see all the details.
It's this with winter boots.
But I mean, those shots in the cockpit in the original movie with the red lighting and the, that World War II style. Suddenly you're in the cockpit with the pilot, and
Yes,
you're in
yeah.
the cockpit with the enemy pilot. You have their POV for a sec for whatever reason, but it's just awesome. I don't own any of the maybe one or two, but I have the 40th carded version of this, which is identical. I
don't
it's a
think there's
repaint.
any difference there.
No,
I think it's straight up the
exactly.
same.
Yeah.
This figure is interesting. We've noticed up until now that Black Series figures have been coming with quite a few accessories. Even our R2D2 had all of the plug-in accessories. This is maybe one of the first ones for us to see that there's not a lot going on here.
Now, is the helmet removable?
No,
because I know it was removable on like the 3 3/4 size.
Yeah, not on this one. In fact, none of the Imperial troops. Let me think about that for a minute.
This is before Disney humanized everybody.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
okay, we had instances
2014
of that
figure, so this could I don't know if this is, man. Yeah, it's 2014, so maybe
you're
it's
on the cusp, but you're still talking about figures from the original lines. Like we didn't get the sort of stories we get now, like the guys in the lunchroom with their hats. The background stuff, like even that scene in Andor, or not, sorry, Andor, the Mandalorian, where Bill Burr and Pascal go undercover, and they're
in the mess.
Like, we never see them let their guard down. We see the human moments, but we don't, and we assume, because we see Luke and Han with the helmets off, that these are people underneath it. And I remember even still thinking, up until I was about 13, that maybe they were robots. I mean, like, or some kind
because
of
you just never saw. And
right.
In any time, that's the funny thing. We heard stormtroopers talk all the time. We never heard a TIE pilot speak. Vader spoke. He spoke to his wingmen.
Yeah,
but they never talked back to him
in an action figure. And they've done it a few times, but they've come up with nice ways, like the two rebel soldiers with the interchangeable faces is a nice way to get around that. But you almost pigeonhole yourself into, like, pop the helmet off and it's a white guy with brown hair, or you know what I mean? Like, I like the idea that it's like it could be anybody under that helmet. I would say, though, like a removable respirator and a chest piece would be something nice. Maybe alternate hands below the wrists so that you could have the ungloved hands.
One thing I've noticed with action figures as of late, and we're seeing it with the G.I. Joe Classified series, and in some cases with the Valaverse figures, where they're making feminine versions of the same essential look. So, like, what about a female TIE pilot, which, if you are an Expanded Universe fan, just dovetails so sweetly into Iden Versio.
Yeah, I mean, there is an Iden Versio, isn't it? I think there is a Black Series Iden Versio.
Is there? You know what? Yeah. I don't think I got that one.
I don't either. So there's one we already.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
I mean, like, I haven't got this full screen, but that figure looks androgynous enough to me
that it could be,
right? Like in a flight suit with all your gear.
I suppose so. Yeah.
You shouldn't be able to tell a good soldier from a good soldier.
Fair enough. I agree with that. But overall, as an action figure, here we go again. We'll give you an all black figure with minimal paint apps.
Yeah. I mean, it's good business sense, and we're all rooting for it. We're all like, "What a wicked figure!" And
it's convenient because that's what it looked. That's what they look like on screen. You can't argue with that part of it.
No,
and then it's almost all downhill now.
When this came out, or when Black Series came out, I kind of thought about it in the terms of, like, when I was a kid collecting Star Wars action figures as a kid, or have my parents buy them for me. Was there ever a case in the vintage line where an action figure actually came with the vehicle? Like, it was always like figure sold separately.
Always figure sold separately,
right? So, like, did
G.I. Joe?
That's true, but I'm talking Star Wars specifically. Like the X-wing didn't come with anything. The Millennium Falcon didn't come with anything.
Playsets didn't come with anything.
No, nothing.
That's only until recently, right?
But you see this figure and you go, and maybe to a lesser degree, I mean, with Luke all the way back to Wave 1, you're thinking, oh my God, does that mean there's the potential for
A TIE fighter.
an X-wing or a TIE fighter?
Hold your horses, kids.
Well, yeah, you as fate might have it. Well, I mean, as an action figure, for its day and age, this is a pretty good one. And I can't tell from the photo. I think the elbows, these might even be pinless, which is
Oh,
kind
they
of cool.
might.
Which is kind of
Mhm.
cool
Yeah,
for
it's not
2014.
terribly articulate, but it stands good. It's a
No,
decent looking figure.
I mean that helmet sort of, and the hoses on the helmet make for limited mobility at the head. But again,
Yeah,
how dynamic do you need this figure to be?
Yeah.
we're
he's always
slowly building
fighting
that
forward.
that eclectic Imperial army, though. You notice that we're
I do
building
like,
towards.
I do like that they've included
A lot of people would buy 2 of these.
a belt and a holster for this guy. Like
Mhm.
I never knew that TIE pilots that had presumably they had a sidearm. Like, I mean,
Sure.
you'd think
Yeah,
that a pilot would in case they get shot down or whatever. But to make it an E11,
that's a decent sidearm.
wow,
You-
that's a good
It's
sidearm,
no
man.
biker scout.
No. I mean, so overall, what do we think of this one?
I like him.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool.
He's good
Seven-
to
7 out
bolster
of
your
10.
ranks.
What's that, Andy?
Good to bolster your Imperial ranks.
Yeah, absolutely. You could fill out a whole.
Mhm.
Maybe you could have a whole scene with these guys.
Yeah.
Hank, you said it's 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10 for me.
7 out of 10, 2014, or 7 out of 10, 2024?
Oh, definitely 2014. Yeah,
2014, 7 out of 10. That's a fair.
I
That's
mean,
a fair
you'd be able
comparison.
to put his hands behind his head like this now, and
Yeah.
he'd have
It's true.
15 interchangeable faces and stuff.
That's true. I agree. I do think he's a 7 out of 10 myself. And you know what? Even in 2024, he's still a very good looking. He's a good looking figure.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have, unlike the last.
And the design, honestly, I mean, like we won't stay too much on it, but like they didn't alter this much for the Force Awakens stuff. But like they altered the standard stormtrooper way more than they altered the pilots.
Yeah, and I when we get to the sequel trilogy stuff where there is a contemporary and a classic, we'll put them side by side so you can compare them and directly compare them.
I do have the elite guy kicking around loose.
I have to say, of the First Order trooper types, TIE Pilot was one of my favorites.
It's pretty good. I also like the Flame Trooper while we're on the subject. He's pretty good too.
Also liked him as well. Yeah. All right, moving on to the next one. Our next one is, at the time, I would say I was super, super stoked and like crazy excited about this figure when it came out in 2014. Today, maybe not so much. It's Yoda.
Oh.
Number 6. Wave 6, number 6, Yoda. And what's interesting here is I kind of get the, like, what they did with, we had our trilogy Vader figure.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean,
yes.
we've got him based on his look from Empire, and the box art suggests that this is him from Empire, but Yoda didn't have a lightsaber in Empire.
No.
Well, he does
he
now.
Didn't have a snake in Return of the Jedi.
No, he did not.
But he looks like the
he looks like the crazy
the
Phantom Menace puppet.
He looks like the Phantom Menace puppet. He just needs like red hair.
So bad.
Yeah, it's not good. My favorite thing about this figure is the little brown unitard that he's wearing, because
he's like the base like body.
Because like the original, if you stripped Yoda down,
that's what he looked like.
70 or 80 figure was he had that brown unitard on.
Well, I mean I haven't turned mine around to see it, but that vintage figure, he's a hunchback. He's hunched. He's got a lump behind the shoulders.
Yes. But the face on this is the best. I don't know if I can get that for you.
Let's see if I can. Let's hang on a second. We'll bring you in. Let's have a look here.
Bam.
That's the archive version, right?
That's the archive.
Yeah, so he's much better. He's much better looking there.
But we honestly, until you get that Luke and 2-pack, you really don't have a Yoda. We finally get the properly scaled Yoda. These Yodas they're bigger than Astromechs. What's going on?
The funny thing is, though, like, It's 2014. I'm super excited to have this figure. I've got everything else that came before it. So when I put Yoda beside my R2, I didn't feel like he was that out of place in 2014. And honestly, up until they released the new smaller Yoda,
Right.
I didn't have a problem with this figure. I never did.
He's he's half the size. I don't want to get up.
He genuinely is. No, you're
He's
right. You're right.
genuinely half the size.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he literally fits in a backpack on Luke's back. You can't do
But
that with this one.
I mean, that's why I bought the archive. Like, I totally get why you would be excited for this figure. It's Yoda. Like, we went crazy for this character as kids. So, and it's packed with accessories at the end of the day. Like,
So on some level, if you wanted to, you could sort of do a Revenge of the Sith thing with him.
well,
And
yeah,
with the
absolutely.
cane, you could sort of do Empire. And like you could sort of do all of the movies with this one if you wanted to, except his final scene in Return of the Jedi, which comes later on in the half translucent
Right.
Force Ghost version,
Right.
which I believe is still this mold.
Probably.
It is this mold. Yeah, and you bend him over, sit him down. He's, none of these like stubby characters are like the Ewoks or the Jawas are the most articulate thing in the world.
You know, the Ewoks are surprisingly pretty good, though.
Are they?
Yeah, they do. They've got articulation at the ankle, which is something that this Yoda does not have.
Yeah.
But this Yoda, I mean, he's got a double jointed elbow. That's pretty cool.
Oh, that's cool. Some
And just
lightsaber poses.
Just a thigh cut for a swivel, and not much. No knee bend.
No knee bend.
No knee
knees.
bend.
Good, Hank.
It's 2014, and it's maybe not something that they were thinking of. I know it's rare for Star Wars figures, if at all. Do you think they could have added a bendy wire to the snake?
Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Would you have appreciated a bendy wire?
I would 100%, but that would drive the price way up.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And also that's probably you'd have to go with a rubber rather than a plastic, which degrades. The old rubber wire toys. I used to have a Batman and Robin that were like the wire pokes through and you cut yourself every time after a fashion.
Right.
We were just tougher as kids.
I
don't know. I still love this figure. Like,
so do I.
I'm not mad at it at all.
Even when the new one
I
came
even
out.
like the action figure quality of the face. It's something that's really endearing about these early figures is they still look like action figures. They're not trying to be mini people on a shelf that come to life,
with Yoda being a puppet to begin with, like it's way more forgivable here. Like, like he doesn't have to look like he's real because I mean we know that Yoda is a puppet.
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't get rid of this figure when the new one came out. I kept this one in my collection, but as I'm looking at it here in the package, you become brutally aware of like, oh wow, like they held off on Chewbacca because the box wasn't right for him. And then I'm thinking of that now as I'm looking at Yoda and how like
the other box would have been more favorable.
That's right. Should have put Yoda in wave 1 in place of Chewbacca.
I mean, you do got to kid him out when he's packaged like that with so much empty space.
Yeah, and I mean, they did it right though. I mean, by having him completely dressed and then just the cane and the lightsaber off to the side. I think that's fine. Would there be anything else that you would have wanted to see with this figure? Which is easy to ask knowing what's coming, right? I mean,
I don't know. Maybe the backpack, but he wouldn't have fit in it, so it would have been a bit crazy to have the backpack. Yeah, it's nice to see this like alongside the Dagobah Baluch, because then you can have another little like scene.
That's exactly how I pose them too. Yeah.
Another 7 out of 10 for me, like, and that's strong, like, because there have been 9.5s in the lines at places, so 7 out of 10 is a strong figure.
We're back up on our accessory count on this one. I mean, as you can see, the lightsabers 2 parts, belt 3, necklace 4, cane 5, snake 6, and then the robe 7. Like that is a record high, I think, at this point.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
To have 7 accessories.
They are, doing that just because of the size of the figure itself, right?
I suppose so. Yeah, that would definitely tie into it. Yeah,
creating those molds is no, you know what I mean. Like, a lot of the money is right there, right?
No, you're right. You're right.
But at the same time, because he is so little, would it be good to get maybe like a little piece of Dagobah with, say, some translucent floating rocks?
Oh, I'm all about that stuff.
Well,
I'm
this
all
this is
about.
what I'm. This is kind of where I'm at. Like we know that's it's out now. If I haven't seen it yet, but the new Yoda that comes with Commander Gree,
Mhm.
the Clone Wars version of Commander Gree, also comes with Yoda's seat from the Jedi Council chambers.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So
Remember the Dagobah playset,
with the
Luke's
sponge.
luggage boxes?
Yeah.
A couple of those, like a gimmer stick, or like a food stick to chew on. I don't know.
Oh,
You
like a
could go,
breadstick. Yeah,
you could go crazy.
good food, good food. Yeah, I'm with you on this one. Yoda, he sits high in my books. I like him a lot for different reasons. One, he's much bigger, so if I want to just like pick up a figure and handle it, this one is a lot easier to do that with than say pulling the one out of the backpack.
No, and I'm a lot less forgiving of like a single carded or single box Yoda. Whereas, like we talked about, like a 2-pack of Jawas I would feel like I'm getting more for my money, even though it's just he brings the character with the toy.
Yeah.
So you're like, yeah, I'll still pay $20 for a single Yoda, but I feel ripped off. But I should be paying 10 for this Jawa kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of, we'll get to the Jawa. I have issues with that figure because you can't do a proper rifle pose with that thing, no matter how hard you try. Any of the versions of it, any of them, can't do it. Andy, where are you at on this one?
I like him.
Yeah.
This is definitely one, even if you weren't hardcore into it,
Yeah.
he's recognizable, and this would be a sought after character.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, 100%. 100%. 100%. Okay, the next couple figures that we're going to get to may look familiar.
Oh, man.
May look familiar, but again, keep in mind, the hallmarks of the action figure. So when I say gentle remold or repaint, you wouldn't be surprised at this point because the next one is the Phase 1 Clone Trooper Sergeant.
So I can't even be mad at them.
I can't either.
It saves me from having to tape off a figure and do that
And do
myself.
it. Yeah, exactly.
And the chances of getting that Phase 1 trooper, like buying 9 of them at once, it's not like it used to be, right? So I understand, and from a business point, it's crazy sense. But from a collector's point of view, keeping producing these rubber-legged atrocities, just like fix the mold already. But I know it's early.
They've only done that this year. They've only gone
I
back
know
and
it
redone it.
took them like 11
A decade.
years.
A decade to do a new clone, which is actually, a new Phase 1 clone.
Right.
What I like I shouldn't say that. You know what's weird about this? And I said this before. They did the base clone, the sergeant and the lieutenant,
right
away. We just got the captain in the packaging with the angled, like the beveled side.
Right, with the new mold, right?
No, it's this mold.
Oh, is it this mold again?
It may be
cashing in.
It may be a different mold. I'd have to double check that, but I know it didn't come out until that packaging. So why such a long gap? Like when you had like this quick successive run of like
They might have found the mold and been like, oh, it's still got some life in it.
we forgot to do the other
Handmade
rank.
plastic, Janice.
Yeah. Here's an interesting one for you. This figure, look at the deco on the rifle. There's a paint app on the rifle on the part that he's holding on to, which now I've purchased virtually every clone that's come out yet, and there's a lot of them that get this blaster. This might be the only one that's actually painted. Like they skip out on that.
A few of them that aren't painted. Even Fox and Cody don't have a painted.
Yeah, no, they don't. Now that might just be because that's essentially a white figure, and I'm sure the plastic is molded. And now, mind you, the visor might be a paint app. The black on the visor
could be
still just black and green.
Yep.
If you had the Phase 1 clone, the generic soldier, you probably went for this. If you wanted to army build.
Yeah.
We're a little before right? I'm all in, but yeah.
You can't have a squad without,
no,
a squad sergeant.
You got to have him out front.
No, I agree. So for me, This is a no-brainer, but I mean, I was a sucker for the clone action figures right from the get-go. So
Mm.
like I was all in. If there's a different kind of clone, I want it. And again, this goes back to, we've talked about this before, but like we are invested in the clone story. We got to, you said it earlier tonight, they're humanized.
Right.
Stormtroopers were never humanized until we saw Finn take his helmet off.
Makes way more sense to make this a removable helmet because you don't have to do any work.
No,
Yeah.
no. And the new one is, of course,
Right,
these ones
yeah.
are not. That's just a helmet on a ball
I guess
joint.
this is pre that Django figure, right?
It is, yeah, it is.
You could slap that Django head on these. That
Yeah,
like early Django head.
I might have an early one too.
Hmm.
I might try that. Andy, where are you on this?
I like it. Solid 6 out of 10.
This is a 6 out of 10 for you?
Yep.
I'm going to give it, just because I like the paint on him, included the painted rifle parts. I'm going to give him a 7.
Yeah, he's
I like it.
probably he's 6.5, 7 for me. Nothing wrong with it, and I understand the business choice. So, if I had been in this early, I definitely would own this figure. So,
all right, our next one is a bit of a conundrum to me because it seemed like we just saw this figure, and it's true because we did, but we got a refresh on Revenge of the Sith Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's now number 8.
makes you retroactively mad. I don't own this figure still. Like,
And
not
he's
even the archive re-release.
So
I want
that
it.
is like a third. This is the archive version would be the third release
Right.
of this figure.
And I like this is news to me that it was released twice in the 2014 before I started buying these.
Yeah.
I'm actually retroactively angry. Like, that's crazy.
If you, and I don't remember the first release being like short packed, and maybe it was. Maybe he was one to a case. I don't know.
I mean, maybe the distribution was different, but I like, that's what my question is. What's going through your head?
Why this
I
right
don't know.
now, right?
Well,
like we still haven't got our 3PO yet, right?
No, we don't.
So
there's no difference, right? There's like
no, 100% the same figure.
Yeah.
This is where I would have maybe talked about or would have tried to execute some of that stuff that we talked about.
Is the lightsaber better?
No, it's the same.
Yeah.
This is where, and if you weren't going to change the mold, you could have given me some paint to make, like, to singe his
right. Give me the battle. Give me the battle
robes.
His what do you call it? A jerkin, I guess.
Yeah.
His gi. His gi. Yeah, we'll call it that. Yeah. Yeah. Give me some singe on that at least to differentiate it from the other one. But this is the exact same figure. So, I mean, I feel exactly the same way about this one as I did the last time we looked at it. So,
yeah,
and
I mean,
Obi-Wan's my boy. So
I kind of like blue better than orange, but it explains a lot of things to come.
That's an interesting comment. You prefer the blue over the orange. It's the
exact
exact same figure, but do you think it looks better with the blue box?
As an in-box guy, I think it pops better.
I would have to agree with you on that. And that's something I never really considered before now.
Speaking of pops, I'm going to make a sound effect. Sorry, guys.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Oh, Sody Pops. Time for Sody Pops.
Background. Okay.
All right. So that is our wave 6. So wave 6 was 1, 2, it was 4. Just 4 figures. And don't quote me on this.
Only one original.
I'm pretty sure that cases of Hasbro 6-inch figures are 6 to a case.
Wow.
So I don't know what the case breakdown for this was, but
you would think 2 clones, but
I would think so because that's the army builder, or 2 TIE pilots.
Or 2 TIE pilots.
Yeah.
You would think they would short ship the Yodas.
Yeah.
Or, I mean,
short ship the Yodas.
But maybe, thank you. Thank you very much. But maybe it's because they had too many Obi-Wans. Like,
we've got so many left over from the orange box. Open them all up and repackage them.
It's like that commercial. Like, we're currently stocked. We're overstocked with Obi-Wans. 2 for 1.
I can just see, like, it's like an episode of Family Guy. There's like a factory of people literally opening up the boxes.
Wacky waving arm flailing.
Yeah, that's right.
Man.
Pulling them out of one and stuffing them in the other.
Right. So
Oh my gosh. 2014, what else did we get? And you know what, retroactively talking about that, like we launched the whole show with our very first figure, which was the convention exclusive. And I neglected to do that when we switched from the orange box to the blue box because there was a convention exclusive. And I didn't lead with that. But it all works out here doing it at the end because you'll see at the end of this, there's a method to my madness why I've arranged them the way that I have. Um, 2014 also saw the release of one convention exclusive, 3 retailer exclusives, and 2 deluxe releases that were pretty much everywhere. Now, the first one I want to talk about is probably the one that I love and hate the most, and that is San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Jabba. I should just call him convention exclusive Jabba because I literally stood in line at Fan Expo Toronto at the Hasbro booth, and I walked away with this figure at the $100 price point, $100 Canadian.
Whoa.
It was a $64.99 US if you were at San Diego that year.
Yep.
And you think about the price of a deluxe figure today.
No, absolutely. And con prices too. They're always getting their extra 20 or 30 bucks up.
Oh my God.
I mean, this is another kit like the first one that displays so well in box.
It does. And I think that's, if you were an inbox collector, this was probably one that you wanted to add to your collection. Although to display it, like you had to open the box.
Yeah.
Like open the flaps.
Yeah.
That's a lot of real estate.
I do. I have a My Hero box set of manga that it's the exact same way. If you open the box to reveal the spine art, which is awesome.
Yeah.
You have to have this clunky giant box open in 4 directions. Yeah.
We got our Jabba the Hutt figure who comes with his little minion, Salacious B. Crumb. And strange choice. He comes with not the whole plinth, but just the railing and the hookah.
Yeah. I mean, it feels like they took the original set and just went, whoop, we're going to scale everything up. Whoop.
Everything but the plinth.
Well, sure, but that plinth was, I mean, that box would weigh, that plinth was amazing. I mean,
it had been, made it out
one
of
the
hollow
vintage
plastic.
things I still have.
This is the one for me that makes me kind of go, I just don't know. Like, I feel like I would have paid, make him 120 and I'd have paid for, like, give me the whole thing.
Sure.
I'd have paid it at the time. Heck, I'd probably pay it now.
I mean, if this were the 80s, we would have had a cardboard background with 55 aliens. And
yeah.
Well, here's the thing, and I don't have I should have put a close up in the slide. I didn't, but the interior of the box art is the scene from the movie. So like there is, like, he's sitting on the cardboard rest, and it does look like the plinth, but it's not.
Well, that's why
it's cardboard.
There's
right?
your answer right there. He's not meant to be opened.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm a big fan of the airbrushed.
The belly.
The belly there, yeah.
Now, as far as, I mean, there is some lighting variances between the two images. But like even the one that I have does have that effect on him. And the upper body on this one is there's a sort of a rubbery, like they do some of those, like those oversuits on action figures.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. And when you press on his right arm, it opens, like the mouth opens. So like cool, there is an action feature on this one.
Does it have the same articulation as the Kenner, like the
so there
on the arms?
There is a hinge. You can sort of see it there. So like the upper body does twist.
Yeah.
And you can hold on to the pipe section of the hookah.
Remember, you used to move the tail and the upper body would move.
Yeah, that's right.
Vice versa.
We got Gaz here tonight. Hello, sir. He says, does something stink around here? Or is that just Jabba?
Find the controls that extend the bridge.
Yeah,
Love it. So yeah, this one, I was so excited to get this one, mainly because I was at Fan Expo. So I was already convention excited.
Right. Which is an actual legitimate thing. I bought things I had no business buying.
Yeah, no, I've been
in the
there.
heat of the moment.
I've been there.
4 hours for a Stephen Platt autograph? I'll do it.
Yeah. What was cool for me though was walking up to the Hasbro booth on the day that I was there, and it may have even been, it might have been the Saturday, and like having virtually no one there. Like I think there was 2 people in front of me.
Oh,
They were
wow.
they were sort of controlling the traffic because they had some display stuff that you could look at, and then they had their counter with the exclusives for that year. What did you want? And I'm like, can I get one of the Jabba? Yeah, no problem.
Hmm.
No problem. Walked away like it was nothing. Like it was a regular trip to Walmart.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, Gaz, you missed it, my friend. Gaz wants to know, and where is Slave Leia? I mean, Hut Slayer Leia. Well, she was back in the orange box.
She was way back in Wave 1.
Yeah, all the way back to Wave 1.
But
And yeah.
now she has a place, right?
Well, she does have a place. In fact, that's the way that I have her. I have her laying down, sort of in front of Jabba.
You get a longer chain to put in his hand.
Yeah, really. A real one, a real chain at that. No, the Salacious B. Crumb figure that's come with this, that we've seen reissued, repainted,
Yeah, a couple times.
as a generic Kowakian monkey lizard a few times.
There's
Didn't
a
he get a
little-
repaint into the holiday series?
Yep. He did.
yeah, and there's a little animal like creatures box set that has
That's right.
some weird.
There's a
creatures.
couple of them in
I think
there.
it's an Amazon exclusive.
I don't recall. I'd have to get up and look at my set. I don't know if there's like the frog thing inside the pipe.
Hmm.
I don't think there is. But that being said, if you were to give me one more piece for this, if it wasn't the plinth, give me the frog.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Like the frog
Yeah.
that he can chew on it, right?
Well, that's what they
Throw it
did
in his
with the
mouth.
Power of the Force one, right?
Yeah,
You had a couple frogs you could jam in there.
Just stick it in his mouth.
Yeah, and then you have the slime that you add into, and then he pukes that back out. But
This is the kind of figure you get this, and it's like this is a centerpiece, and you build around it.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, it's going to take a huge chunk of the early
Yeah.
shelf. Yeah,
And I've done that.
Mhm.
I've got a throne room. Well, it's condensed, but it is essentially a throne room setup.
Mhm.
I have an entire 3.75 throne room set up, and it's what's wicked about it is you can throw all your early aliens, but like I've got Greedos there, Walrus Man's there.
Yeah,
like, you
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah. Because they don't look
Ree-Yees,
out
like,
of
they're
place at
they
all.
don't- Yeah, it just looks like
They're just stopping by
the
for
other wall
a
of the
show.
cantina.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, any more to say about Jabba before we move on?
I don't think so.
No.
I mean, really nice. I don't know, like at $100, if I would have like the opportunity it took me, if I would have, I might have.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like a like without the dais and
It's more
at
of
the
an
price
in-action
point.
figure.
And
right?
I know convention and all that stuff. It's kind of like that pushes it to a 6 out of 10 for me because it's just it puts it out of the range of most people.
This would have been a 10 out of 10 for me if it had had the dais.
Mm.
As it stands, without the dais, but with Salacious Crumb and the hookah and the railing. By the way, the railing, that was inspirational. I actually thought, I went out and I bought a bunch of that. You know, the green plant foam?
Yeah, oh yeah.
You can buy like a 6-pack of bricks at like the craft store for like nothing. And I thought, there's a good thing. I could glue that together and I could make a plinth. Still haven't done it. 10 years later, and I still haven't done it. It's
okay.
sitting on a plastic acrylic riser right now.
I have so many
I'll get around to it.
projects that I
Someday.
started like that.
That's right.
Yeah.
9 out of 10 for me. Would have been a 10 with the dice, but alas, we did not get it.
Did we ever get a re-release of this?
Well, that's funny that you should say that. Funny you should ask, because that takes me to our first deluxe figure in the blue box, and as fate would have it, it is the retail version of Jabba.
Okay.
Exact same figure, none of the accessories.
Ooh, $40.
Like
And
nothing.
it's slightly different on the paint on the.
Well,
tummy,
this
though.
one, yeah,
Big
this one's
old
got
blister
got
on
the
his
target.
belly.
yeah.
Is
Whereas
that a nipple, or
the,
are you just happy to see me?
I think that's on some level that could be like the just the photo that we're using. Like I think
Okay.
there's a light,
I gotcha.
there's a shimmer there. Like it is, because all these photos are lit differently, but
Yeah.
I do think it is the same deco.
Yeah. So, and you know, even seeing I guess it was quite small in the last one. So
Yep.
$40. Yes, I would pay another $20 to get all that gear.
for the rest of it. Yeah.
So I want to change my 6 to
So
a
yeah,
9.
that is, maybe I should have led with this one because that is the big thing. 40 US as opposed to 65.
I don't like either point, but that changes. I'm not as mad at the price anymore.
Yeah, I
That's what I'm
mean,
getting for $40.
like, again, I don't want to put this in the 2024 lens, but
At
when you
least
look,
Salacious Crumb in the second box. Like I can live without the hookah but at least I don't know.
Sean says a tenner for me.
Yeah, you're probably not wrong.
I remember when
He
Target
looks
was
so
Lindsay.
much better there. Like he looks so much like the wet mouth and
Yeah,
but that glam shot of him is.
it's a yeah, it is a better looking photo. Sorry, when the Target store was here in Canada.
I remember him peg warming for the longest time.
Yeah. I got the convention one, so there was no reason for me to pick this one up. Even if you wanted to do that horrible scene from A New Hope, solo, you can't do that with this figure because as soon as you twist the torso to make him like he's inchworming down the docking bay,
Right.
Then he looks
his
wrong.
belly is on the side, or
the
like
side, yeah.
like Jabba, you broke him.
Just CG that shit out.
That's right.
But this is the final release of this. Is probably why I don't have it.
I think there's been another one since then, or there was
I
supposed
wonder
to
if
be another one.
I don't know how much work it would be, but to take a look for fun, and maybe I'll do the extra work if you want.
Yeah, sure.
Just to take a look at the secondary market on some of these as we're doing them. Not in real time right
no,
now.
I see what you're saying. I didn't put the pricing in for the Wave 6 because there was no price creep. Like it's
Right.
the pricing
Still
on a
the same.
standard figure is
Makes
still that
I'd be interested. I'd like to know
1999.
what that convention exclusive is going for nowadays on. Say,
Oh
eBay.
dear. Yeah. Yeah, we'll take a look at that. And maybe that's something that we can throw
Just
up
because
on
it has
our
such a
social
big
media.
effect on some of the collecting that we do, and I
Yeah.
know that we've all bought secondary market stuff.
Yeah. All right, we're getting into our first retailer exclusive. And when I say first retailer exclusive, it's, interesting because it is a redo on the first figure in the line. And it's the Walgreens exclusive prototype Boba Fett. Prototype Boba Fett, for all intents and purposes, is the same figure, minus the obviously with the deco change. He has an all-white cape, and he has an unpainted blasters in this case. Now he's come out a couple times, at least once more since then.
Yeah, in that black gated cover one.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah,
and I didn't pick him up either time.
No, I mean at the very least, he's another Mandalorian, right?
I look at it this way: it was to me, I don't see a Mandalorian. I see Imperial Super Commando because that's the original concept, right? Yeah. And I didn't want to army build a bunch of Super Commandos. So, to me, this was I struggled with this one at the time, and I guess on some level I struggle with it now. But I let this one go. I let it pass.
Well,
I'm not having a stroke. I have one here somewhere.
You can't tell in the photo. Well, maybe you can. I want to ask you, Hank. Can you tell me? Maybe I can pop this out full screen. Maybe I can get a better look.
Where the frig are you, Boba?
Is the helmet dent there? Oh dear. Oh dear.
catastrophic failure.
It's bedlam and mayhem.
It revealed the figure. It totally revealed the figure when everything fell. That's okay. We'll clean it up later.
Tell me, is the helmet dent still there?
It is.
It is there. Okay.
It is there. It's a kind of a weird shadow. I don't know if you can pull that up. I haven't had great luck with.
We can do that. Hang on a second here.
There it is.
Oh, there we go. Yep, I can see it now.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I did get that guy with the intention of painting him up like a, just, excuse me, bought him late because saw him at the back of someone dropped him behind a shelf at GameStop or something. Anyway, and the intention was after that episode of the Mandalorian season 3 with all those haggard.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to make a heavily weathered
You just another member of the covert.
Right, right. Yeah.
Gaz says that I know that the all white boba is one of the original designs, but I think it's totally not needed.
No. I shouldn't have to do my own repaints. I enjoy it. But of course, that's one of the projects that I haven't started yet either.
And based on that box, that would be what, the third release of that version?
This is
that mold.
Well, because you're in the
that mold. Right now, we're at the third release of this mold.
So
Yes.
I have this figure 4 times.
Yeah.
I've got the
yeah,
Empire version. I got the Empire Archive version.
Yep.
I've got this version. I've got 5 times. I got the Return of the Jedi version, and I have that stupid carbonized version.
Carbonized version is the only time I bought a Black Series figure with the sole intent to flip it.
Flip it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Sean says they did a few of the white Boba Fett's. Yes, there is a den. Okay, Sean, thank you very much.
Yep.
I appreciate
And you
that.
would think, though, if they did the white Boba Fett, that they might tap like they did for the smaller vintage collection, some of the other like Macquarie based designs.
It's funny that you bring that is the only compelling thing that I can think of would be show me the Macquarie concept.
That would
figures
be a nice
in 6-inch.
6-inch stuff. I would be into that. I think we
Did
even
they
get
start?
a black Boba Fett, which is
We do later on, a comic book one
book thing, yeah.
with like a big sickly blade thing that looks like it's right out of that episode where Kirk fought Spock. As we bending our franchises now. Yeah, so Boba Fett again, the same again.
Again.
He's the same figure. He's the same accessories. He's less paint.
Yeah. Same price, less paint.
And he's an exclusive.
Yeah.
So, and the crappy part was this was a Walgreens exclusive. So like in Canada,
Unless it showed up at GameStop, you weren't getting it.
at that time, I don't think
they had a cross.
there wasn't a deal in place at that
EB
time.
Games at that time?
Yeah, there was no deal in place at that time for those figures to show up. So you were sort of at the mercy of the secondary market.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you're getting less for the same. And yeah, I mean, there's so little work done.
It is less for the same. It's less paint.
Mm-hmm.
It absolutely is.
Paint your own Boba.
All right. You ready for another deluxe?
Yes.
All right. Talking about getting less. Maybe it's not less. You are getting a little bit more here. Getting more cardboard for sure. This next one is an interesting one. And it kind of reminds me of sort of the same conversation we had around Jabba, because this is another one. This is a scene builder.
Mm-hmm.
And it is the Cantina Showdown. And it was a Toys R Us exclusive. This one at $39.99 US.
So that's an excellent price, realistically.
That's the price of 2 individual figures.
Yeah.
Remember when Toys R Us was reasonable? Wonder why they went out of business.
Well, not only are you getting 2 figures here, you're getting the table and the chair, right?
All cardboard.
All cardboard. Well, still
all cardboard.
I'll take it. That touches my heart. If it's like that looks great. Like I'm not handling it, but the cardboard play sets from when we were kids, the Cantina, especially the Cantina cardboard play set, was awesome. I mean, you had the plastic base, but you had that cardboard like backdrop and the cheap the cheap doors that were like the center of them were cardboard and in plastic frame. So
I liked this in the store. I liked being able to walk up and kind of like smile at it and go like, "Oh, that's nice."
Yeah.
But like, I'm actually glad that I did not get this, because I don't keep stuff in the packages. So like, to me, I get it. I take it out of the box and then it goes on my shelf. Oh, by the way, this version of Han Solo comes with the exact same accessories as his single carded release. So he comes with the gloved hands.
Belt?
Not the Stormtrooper belt, but he does come with the gloved hands. And it is the same. It's the same.
Greedo.
Yeah.
That's a great price. I would have bought 5 of them, flipped 4. That's a good price. I mean, even like if you saw that today, holy cow.
Yeah. All right. Is there anything else we can say about this? I mean, we did look at these figures not that long ago.
Well, if you missed them out there, here's a really good chance to get them, right?
All they spent was packaging money here. Whoever's doing the early work here is actually business savvy. Right?
Yeah, they're smart. All right. The next one, again, this is another one that I was super excited about. We're going to do another deluxe. It's not a retailer exclusive, but you'll see the method to my madness here by the time we get to the end. This one I was super excited about. I'm glad I bought it. In fact, I bought 2 of them, and it is the Imperial speeder bike with Biker Scout.
Nice.
$40.
Same price as the Cantina Showdown.
Wow.
Same
So
time they're
that
hitting
re-release of this was like 120.
Sorry, what's that, Hank?
The re-release of this with the Grogu was like 120.
Yeah,
Mm.
with the trooper with the satchel.
Yeah.
Yeah, slightly different deco on the bike and a different. They changed the stand from having the 3 ball jointed stand where you could position the bike on any one of those 3 balls to change the height of how far off the ground it is, which I actually think is the better stand. They changed it to like a poof of air, like a. It's
nice.
I don't know how to explain it. It's a
yeah.
Well, kind of like
Chopper
the
has that
Professor X
effect.
thing, right?
Yeah, like the poof effect.
Yeah.
The poof effect. Is that even a thing?
Oof.
I'm sorry.
I want this so bad it hurts me. This is fantastic, but there's no way by the time it came around again, there was no way that it and to have it go up almost $70 is crazy.
Yeah.
For $40, I would have bought 5 of them again.
I bought 2 of them.
Yeah.
Now, Gaz says this set needs an Ewok pelt hanging on the wall behind them. What's funny is later on, much later on, like in the last 3 years, there was a set released called the Heroes of Endor. And in the Heroes of Endor set, there's a Paplu on the speeder bike. So you can recreate that scene. It also came with Luke, Han, and Leia in their camouflage gear.
Nice.
But it's the same bike, also with the poof base that we saw with the Mandalorian release, which also has a slightly different paint deco. But this bike is so good. It's so
really
good. It doesn't have any of the breakaway features, like the it's not spring loaded like the Kenner one or the Hasbro Power of the Force one. So there's
when I stayed with you over Christmas, it was the thing I was looking at the most in the basement. I was like, wow, it's so nice. At 6 inches, it's so nice.
You're not going to accidentally like break this into several pieces.
It doesn't blow apart like the Kenner.
No.
Blow apart action.
And it's cool. Like it's like there's a level of fidelity here that I appreciate, that I feel like you really only get in the 6-inch or larger scale.
Yep.
You know, there are foot pegs on the, I don't want to call them pedals, but the footrests. I guess they are pedals because they are pedals.
They use them like gas. Yeah.
They are difficult to peg your figure's feet onto, but the figure itself is articulated enough that you can get him into a good seated pose that he just looks natural sitting on it.
I got a couple of these guys. No bikes.
So hold them up, Hank. I want to talk about this for a second because this actually ties into what this figure does. Look at the legs on yours.
It's weathered.
They're straight. They're straight. They're not bow-legged from sitting on a bike.
Right.
So like even this photo, let me go back to the slide here. Look at the bow in his legs. So over time, I have 2 of them, and I'm sure if I went and pulled them off the shelf right now, they're both bow-legged from sitting there for so long.
He's a little bit akimbo there, so if you come back to me real split second though.
Yeah.
You can articulate that.
You can put that into him, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you can. Oh, excuse me, burping. He's got his hips open up quite wide actually so yeah, it's natural
to accommodate the bike. I do like this. I love.
The blaster is the worst though.
It is. It's just a carved block of wood.
It just doesn't stay in the holster.
When I got them, the Biker Scout is wrapped in clear elastic bands. He's elastic right to the bike. So his feet and ankles are wrapped up and his hands and wrists are wrapped up. And I pulled them out of the box and I never touched them. In fact, when I finally went to change them, the elastics were so dry that they crumbled when I touched them. I took the 2 bikes and as soon as I got, because when they did that Heroes of Endor set, I wasn't going to buy it because it was, one, it was super expensive, and two, it was almost impossible to find up here. I'm like, please do single carded versions, please, 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 please.
10 out of 10
And
for
they
me.
did. They did. So naturally, my 2 speeder bikes are now being ridden by Luke and Leia.
That's awesome.
Nice.
10 out of 10 for you?
Easy. Yeah. Love. As soon as I saw this version of a trooper when I was a kid, I went crazy. Just the idea, oh, there can be different versions. Oh, wicked.
This was my favorite Stormtrooper version forever.
Forever.
Yeah. And then with the advent of Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor, the Scout is like a prominent.
Yeah, it's like elite sniper.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
so we get variants of this figure later on with like a shield and a riot baton and
That's right.
like some other accessories.
I'd like to see him with a long rifle.
Andy, where are you on this one?
9 out of 10.
It's a 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
What would make this a 10 out of 10 for you?
an Ewok?
An Ewok. So 2 figures and a bike.
Well, I mean, an Ewok's little, right? So
That's true. You'd still pay
Yeah,
more
that's
for
true.
it.
even if you just get a Wicket, who is the smaller of the
He is.
releases,
He is
right?
the smaller of them. Yeah.
But-
Yep. This is a 10 out of 10 for me. I love this one a lot. The fact that they stayed true to the costuming error as well.
Mhm.
You know the story about the costuming error on this?
I don't.
There's a costume error on the Biker Scout that is now part of Star Wars canon.
Nice.
The knee pads are on upside down. Did you know that?
I did not know.
Yeah,
that.
it was a costuming error. The
Wicked.
whoever in wardrobe dressed them up, put them on upside down, and that's the way they remained.
Now they run with it.
Yep, that's the way it is now. Okay, this set, the deluxe set, takes me to our last retailer exclusive, and the reason why I made this last, well, you'll see why. It's a Target exclusive, and it is the Imperial Shadow Squadron, which includes a redeco of the speeder bike and the Biker Scout, as well as a redecoed Stormtrooper.
Wow. I'm trying to see what's going
That's
on with
awesome.
that black stormtrooper.
Scouts
Just
are the
repaint.
best. Gaz says that Scouts are the best looking Stormtroopers. The set should come with an Ewok skinned hat for the Scout.
Nice. And a Monshi she trap.
That's right. I didn't do any of the lore work on this, but like the card art in the back of the box is like the Death Star, and it's like the docking bay.
Jeepers.
Maybe there's
So
a
there's
light
a
support.
the Shadow Trooper is a Legends thing. I don't
Yeah.
I don't know that I've ever encountered the
Shadow Squadron.
Shadow Biker Scout, but man, it looks good.
Yeah, so
Like
this was
Snake Eyes vibes, man. He looks
The-
great.
there's an
Really pick up that chest detail there.
the Stormtrooper accessories. You can't see it in the box. I did include. It comes with the shoulder pauldron from the Sand Trooper, as well as both long rifles from the Sand Trooper.
So you almost need to get a couple of these, right?
Man, that's
yeah,
Just
really
yeah.
The
nice.
different variations.
Like 2 or 3, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another reason to hate the States.
Oh, 2014. We might have been able to get this.
I guess.
When did we? Did we have Target in 2014? I think we did.
Oh, we might have.
It
We
was
had it for
close.
about 3 days.
Yeah.
We in Halifax. It was here for 3 days.
So yeah, but I mean, other than the paint application, or in this case with the figures, the lack
Black.
the
Mhm.
lack of paint, that is your Imperial Shadow Squadron.
And really, it's only a $10 bump at the time, right? From
Oh yeah,
Small Scout,
Oh,
right?
So
you're
that-
getting 4
that-
figures, 2 bikes for $50 is
That's
like
pretty sweet.
you'd be
Well,
dumb-
yeah.
But at the
You'd be
same time,
silly
like-
not to buy it if you saw it
Yeah.
live like that.
Like, this is why I think the other version, if you'd included that Ewok, even a $5 or $10 price jump is not.
not out of the
What's
question.
that
No.
adjusted for inflation of the day? It's like $75, $80.
$49.99 in 2014 bucks to today.
No, it's
Oh,
like
man.
to Canadian then.
Oh, then
It's probably you're probably looking at about
$49.99 US today.
$75.
It'd be 65,
Oh yeah.
65, 70, I think. Actually,
Even
you know
that,
what?
2 figures and a vehicle? Whew.
Let me do the. I'm gonna use the Gaz machine here and figure that out. Let's do this.
Oh,
$49.99 USD to Canadian. Today that is $70.10.
And at your regular price at GameStop of $36.99 per figure.
That's right. $36.99 is the low end now for a 6-inch Hasbro figure.
Yeah, that's real nice.
Yeah, it is very, very cool. I did pass on this, and I never aggressively hunted it down because I just wasn't like super keen on the all black stormtroopers.
Hmm.
Like they just didn't. I knew it was a Legends thing, but it just didn't resonate with me. Like I was never into the whole like, oh, elite stormtroopers. I'm like, they wear white and they stand out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, yeah.
Not these guys.
I'm with the troopers like you are with the
With clones, yeah.
clones. I have so many variants, and I'm just like, I want to get them all, but I actually and I'm ahead, right? Like we're both into this very in a very large way, and I didn't know this existed.
Oh, you didn't know this was a thing?
I didn't know this was.
And so after the show, Hank is immediately going to eBay.
I'm immediately going to eBay. Can't pay rent this month, honey.
Is Lauren looking at you right now? Like what?
Oh, she's sleeping. She's probably
Okay, that's
dreaming about that statement.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So 2 figures, a bike, and those figures come. I mean, essentially you're getting a Sand Trooper minus the backpack, and you're getting another Biker Scout with the bike.
Cancel Christmas
for $50.
Can't go wrong.
I think this is good value.
Yes.
It was definitely good value at the time.
Absolutely.
Oh, hell yeah.
This is one of those ones when I see people selling their Black Series collections, I don't see these ones coming up. There was a Shadow Trooper single, I think, released in the Gaming Greats.
Yep.
I've seen that one come up for sale.
He's kicking around here.
But
somewhere.
I've never, because he's got like a blue wash on him.
Yeah.
I've never seen these ones come up. I've never seen that speeder bike come up ever.
No, I've never seen the alternate paint. I didn't know this existed.
Well, there you go.
Crazy.
There you go.
I am going to eBay.
Oh man, so that is all of phase 2 of Star Wars: The Black Series. So that is the end of the blue packaging, and really these exclusives, they didn't even follow that, but they were released in that same.
It looks like they got the
same
blue
time
name
period.
pattern.
They
right?
do, yeah, I guess so.
Past
They
that.
do, and all of the deco and stuff, and the titles on the bottom. So that is sort of consistent. But yeah, that brings us to the end of that. Final thoughts?
Aside from like,
$134.99.
$134.99
woof.
on eBay.
Yes, sir. Sold. That's a sold item.
Oh, that's a sold. It's $140. That's not bad.
No.
That's not bad in 2024 aftermarket bucks.
$280,
Oh, that's
$245, $700. Get what you can get and get
these are asking prices.
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
$700.
That's one where you just create an alert to ping you when new
Right,
ones come
yeah.
up.
Price dropped.
Yeah.
Get their address and just knock on their door.
Sorry, I'm porch pirating your package.
Oops.
I mean, it's still a shape of things to come. We're going to get a lot of repeats, a lot of repaints.
Yeah.
I did look ahead a little bit to what's coming when we get to phase 3. Phase 3, it's the red and black packaging, which when you hear Black Series, I mean, I think that, a large part of my brain still goes red and black box.
Right.
Because there were just so many of them.
I mean, 121, I believe.
I
Plus
couldn't tell.
exclusives?
Yeah, and that we're going to get like even more exclusives because we're going to get our first theme park exclusives are coming in the red and black box.
The one of my things that I liked about that line was, and we'll get there eventually, is that they would do an exclusive, say the Spirit Obi-Wan, which was everybody calls Force Ghost for some reason. Spirit Obi-Wan on the
Spirit
box,
Obi-Wan,
very strange, but that box was blue. And
Yeah,
so you
it was.
would
It was,
occasionally
yeah.
get, like
The box was themed with the figure.
like coated box with the figure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think all of the
Kind of pop on the shelf. Like
I think
that.
all the Force Ghosts had a thematic package.
Hmm.
Because there was what Obi-Wan, Yoda,
Yeah, Qui-Gon.
and now Qui-Gon.
There's a
Although Qui-Gon
Qui-Gon.
was in the beveled. He was
Beveled
in the
box.
beveled packaging. Yeah. And I passed on all of those because I don't want Force Ghosts of my
I
characters.
haven't opened the Obi-Wan, but I saw a figure review where he said that the cloak just unravels, like becomes threadbare.
Oh
Like
yeah,
it
yeah,
just
yeah.
disintegrates on touch. So don't open
It's
it.
like burlap or something.
Yeah.
We got that, and I just saw they're up for pre-order, even on Amazon. As a matter of fact, we were talking a while ago about the new Farm Boy Luke and a New Hope Leia that's coming with the plastic
Look really nice,
garments
man.
instead of the soft goods. I'm wondering and hoping that a new old Ben with an Alec Guinness portrait is also on the horizon,
Oh,
because
that
I
would be
would
nice.
love. We still haven't got the first old Ben in the line yet,
No.
but he's definitely due for a refresh.
Yeah, 40th carded is the. Oh, I have actually in the Paint app. So there is the 50th Lucasfilm
Yep.
carded with the Kenner
Yep.
fit,
Yep.
has the Alec Guinness face
Oh,
print
the
and
portrait on it.
and the portrait.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I should see if I can get one of those and just swap the heads then.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. I don't want to pull it. It's up on the wall. Side by each, they look like strikingly different. It's kind
Yeah,
of
they would. They would. Well, that is it for Back in Black series. For now, man, tomorrow. Skeleton Crew.
December already.
I am so excited for this.
2025 soon.
To all of our Canadian fans, I hope that Canada Post ends their shenanigans pretty soon, because I hate the fact that they've hijacked Christmas. And if you're like me, you've got Christmas presents that you've got to send out. Or we're celebrating late. How's that?
Yeah.
All right. So we'll be back. Andy and I will be back here on, at least Andy and I will be back on Tuesday for the next round of Random Fandom, where we cover some entertaining highlights from the world of pop culture. And then next Sunday, we are, you know what? I didn't put it in. I fully meant to, and I did not put it in.
Okay.
I was going to do a reveal of the logo that we have for our next review series. We've talked about it. The next one, Skeleton Crew, starts on tomorrow, Sunday. Join us for our first episode of Fandom Crew, as we look at at least the first episode. Don't know how we're going to do that yet. Are we going to cover both episodes in one shot, or are we going to break it up into two?
I think it depends how it goes. Got to see it first.
How long are the episodes? We know.
I don't
zero,
know.
right?
I have no idea. Yeah, I'm banking on similar length to the other live action Star Wars shows. So
I've read very little.
Widely.
I just can't wait to see Judy Garland.
Judy Garland.
Jude Law. Sorry, I get them confused in my head.
Anywhere from what, maybe 25 to 45 minutes at the end, maybe.
Possibly even up to 50, right?
Well, that's pushing it.
There's that weird. There's that weird format where you're getting almost like a mini movie. Like Shogun did it on Netflix, where it was like every episode was like different lengths, but an hour and a half, 45 minutes.
They were all over the place, but so good. Jesus.
Really good. That was really
good. Good enough that they've greenlit a sequel without having a book to adapt it from. So that's going to be interesting. Anyway, enough of that stuff. Phantom Crew on Sunday, possibly a double shot. We shall see, based on what happens tomorrow. Awesome. But rest assured, the three of us will be back on Sunday with something for you.
Goonies in space.
I just want to, put on a set of pig's ears and a nose.
I know. Dr. Swineport.
All right. Anything you guys want to close on before we wrap it up?
This has been so fun. Just like not having...
Talking toys.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like... So you're a fan of properties, but there's just this weird little intimate thing that happens with toys. And I can't even say if I liked Star Wars before I liked the toys, and then that reinforced my Star Wars, which reinforced you see the feedback cycle that's happening here.
This weird reciprocal relationship,
so
but like
something very like bedrock about talking about the toys of the fandom that you're really into.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it brings you back to like why you're doing what you do and what you're into. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's been a heck of fun.
Yeah, I love this stuff. When Andy and I, we get to talk toys for a few minutes every week. So like, but this does have a different feeling because we're kind of like looking at things a little bit more, you know, we're a little more focused on them, whereas opposed to like, oh, this is a new thing that's coming out, like it, don't like it, okay, move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This we have an investment in.
Yeah, when
because-
you've got something in your hand and you can go
Yeah.
check it, like this, like yeah,
yeah, it is a
You've
different
been able
vibe.
to like inspect it and you can see it in hand, like that Superman Doomsday box set.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, we saw the like the photography they released for it,
Yeah.
but to actually hold it in hand,
Yeah.
it is a completely different feel, right?
Different
Oh, yeah.
experience. Yeah.
I mean, there's this when you open the package, most people are like, it's weird, right? But there's a smell to your figures when you freshly open a pack. Like it's I
So
don't know.
I'm not the only weird one then.
No, not at all, bro. No,
Well, you can blame He-Man for that, right?
Yeah, I guess no.
Stinkor.
Wait. What's
Who was the
first?
first?
What's first? He-Man or Strawberry Shortcake?
Oh,
Oh,
well, for boys,
Oh.
I'm going to say He-Man,
sure.
Okay,
unless you had a sister,
that's true.
which I did not.
But, yeah, well, you know what I had though? Scratch and sniff stickers.
Yes.
Scratch
Yeah,
and sniff
yeah,
stickers.
yeah,
We all
they were
had
the-
those. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
true.
I had a collection of them on the mirror above my dresser when I was like 9.
Were
It's
they
also
puffy?
why we all have.
They were
Alzheimer's.
not puffy. No, they were not.
It's also why we all have Alzheimer's because of those.
I thought it was from the aluminum pots.
What was in them?
All right, everybody. Listen, I just want to thank everybody, as always, for sticking with us. It's been an incredible ride. And, you know, a lot of you don't know of the turmoil that we just recently went through over having to switch platforms. But the effect has been transparent for you guys. Hopefully that you still or you're enjoying what you're seeing you do as you show up every week. But we appreciate you more than I can possibly say. So thank you for tuning in week after week. And to those of you who are finding us in the replay, thank you so much. When your entertainment options are as varied as they are, you know, I can't tell you how much it means that you choose to spend your time with
Our
us.
beards appreciate it immensely.
That's right. I think every time we get a subscriber, that's why my beard hasn't grown, because we just have this like neutral
Right.
gain a subscriber, lose a subscriber, gain a subscriber, lose a subscriber.
1,000 subs will all shave our beards.
I don't know about that.
10,000.
Well,
We'll see.
I've seen different lengths of you.
True.
I don't think. Oh, nobody's seen this face in years.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No one's seen this face in years. Not
It'd be
even
like-
me.
It'd be like gender reveal parties.
They're like, oh my God, put it back, put it back.
We have to have big glue-ons ready.
I'll just have a Santa
Our
Christmas,
wives don't even
a
recognize.
Christmas beard with some hooks or something just in
Yeah.
case.
Ready to go.
An Obi-Wan beard that she cut out of a paper bag with 2 stripes on. Like it looks like an animated Obi-Wan beard. She'll put it on and it's
Hilarious.
disturbing. I was like, stop that.
Oh, that's funny. Now you should do a companion one that's Dooku with
Nice,
the
nice.
long cone.
Mhm.
All right, listen. I've got nothing left. Thanks again for hanging out with us. I totally appreciate it. Don't forget, check out all of our social media. We are everywhere. If you want to consider supporting the show, you can do so by subscribing. It's free. If you have like-minded friends who like this kind of stuff, let them know about us. We'd love to see them along as well.
Don't
For
forget
those of
the
you,
Cyber
The
Monday
merch store.
sale.
oh,
is
that's
on
true.
Right.
So
now.
there you go. Yeah, Cyber Monday at our merch shop. The link is in the description of this video, along with all our videos.
Up to 40% off.
And we do have a Patreon with just a single tier layer, which is very small. I think it's just a couple of bucks. I think it's $5.
Yep.
You know, which helps us to pay for things like subscription services that allow us to multi-stream to all the platforms that we do.
Stickers that we can give out to you.
That's right, all that stuff.
Give
So,
back.
but hey, no pressure.
Mhm.
No pressure. It's okay.
Mhm.
Anyway, that's all I got, guys. So remember, whatever your thing is, especially if it's Star Wars, fan on. And for Fandom Power, my name is Wes.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Hank.
and we will see you on the next one. Bye for now, everybody. Let's try that again.
Oh. And we're back.
Absolute. Well, you know, that's gonna make for an
Skeleton
interesting
Crew was
blooper.
awesome.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, I hate when it happens.
Find the controls that extend the bridge.